We need to stop saying the phrase fertility gap and start calling it what it is, which is a wealth gap. The language which is often used to describe the declining birth rate is misleading and quite often very sexist, as it makes the problem sound like it has more to do with health and biology than social, financial, or societal issues. There's recently been an influx of articles, podcasts, panic speeches, and policies addressing the global declining birth rate. And yes, birth rates are declining worldwide, but the way it is often framed in the media fuels a really sexist narrative, which is then weaponized by far-right politicians and commentators. People are leaving it later to have children, and we know it does make it harder to conceive the longer you leave it. But if we're repeatedly calling the declining birth rate a fertility gap, we are really laying the blame in the wrong place. When in the UK alone, childcare pretty much costs the same as rent, statutory maternity pay is peanuts, new fathers still only get 2 weeks paternity leave, millennials are and will be for a while generation rent because there is a housing crisis and no one can afford to buy a house, and still the bulk of the housework and childcare falls to women. Women are still expected to be the primary carers, do the bulk of domestic work, and put their careers on hold. Not to mention that barely anybody has recovered financially since COVID or Brexit, and wages have not risen with inflation and everyone is in student debt. We are in a never-ending cost of living crisis and no one seems to have a financial safety net, let alone the financial privileges of bringing up more than one child, because that is what it's become. It has become a privilege to have children. This is a social, societal, financial problem, and if we are just calling it a fertility gap, we are leaving a lot out of this conversation. Parents in this country face some of the highest childcare costs in the whole world, despite the new government-funded education scheme, which does not go far enough or have the infrastructure or support or the funding or the staffing to make it really work. Not only does a lack of affordable childcare make people less likely to want to start families, but so does a housing and cost of living crisis, surprise surprise. To mention global warming, job insecurity, the fact that more women just want to be child-free and focus on their career, and the fact that a lot of men, it seems, really just not bothered about being fathers right now. I understand why these articles exist, I understand why we're having this conversation, but the way they are often framed, the way the language is used is really jarring. Because if we continually frame this as a fertility issue, even just in the title of these articles, it plays into the misogynistic ideology that a woman is just a ticking womb, whose role it is to leave the workforce, bring up kids, stay at home, and have a big family. We need to start reconsidering language and reconsidering how we talk about this issue, because there are a lot of other factors here.